Welcome back, friends, to your Techhandy channel. Please like and subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to timely get new video updates. In this video, we'll first try to understand what is penetration testing, pen testing's 5 stages, and penetration testing methods. Finally, we'll move to the main part of this video of creating a pen testing lab environment. Please don't create this environment on the bridge network or production. The machines are highly vulnerable and can cause severe damage to your environment. Highly recommend using NAT or a private network only, without internet access. A penetration test, also known as a pen test, is a simulated cyber attack against your computer system to check for exploitable vulnerabilities. In the context of web application security, penetration testing is commonly used to augment a web application firewall. Pen testing can involve the attempted breaching of any number of application systems. It can be APIs, application protocol interfaces, or front-end back-end servers to uncover vulnerabilities, such as unsanitized inputs that are susceptible to code injection attacks. Insights provided by the penetration test can be used to fine-tune your security policies and patch detected vulnerabilities. The pen testing process can be broken down into 5 stages. Planning and reconnaissance. The first stage involves defining the scope and goals of a test, including the systems to be addressed and the testing methods to be used. Gathering intelligence, including network and domain names, mail server, to better understand how a target works and its potential vulnerabilities. Second scanning step is to understand how the target application will respond to various intrusion attempts. This is typically done by inspecting an application's code to estimate the way it behaves while running. These tools can scan the entirety of the code in a single pass. Also, inspecting an application's code in a running state. This is a more practical way of scanning, as it provides a real-time view into an application's performance. Gaining access stage uses web application attacks, such as cross-site scripting, SQL injection, and backdoors, to uncover a target's vulnerabilities. Testers then try and exploit these vulnerabilities, typically by escalating privileges, stealing data, intercepting traffic, etc., to understand the damage they can cause. Maintaining access stage goal is to see if the vulnerability can be used to achieve a persistent presence in the exploited system, long enough for a bad actor to gain in-depth access. The idea is to imitate advanced persistent threats, which often remain in a system for months in order to steal an organization's most sensitive data. And finally, at analysis, the results of the penetration test are then compiled into a report detailing, such as specific vulnerabilities that were exploited, sensitive data that was accessed, or the amount of time the pen tester was able to remain in the system undetected. This information is analyzed by security personnel to help configure an enterprise's web application firewall settings and other application security solutions to patch vulnerabilities and protect against future attacks. We'll try to cover most commonly used penetration testing methods. The first on list is external testing. External penetration tests target the assets of a company that are visible on the internet, example, the web application itself, the company website, and email and domain name servers, DNS. The goal is to gain access and extract valuable data. Then we have internal testing. In an internal test, a tester with access to an application behind its firewall simulates an attack by a malicious insider. This isn't necessarily simulating a rogue employee. A common starting scenario can be an employee whose credentials were stolen due to a phishing attack. Next, we have blind testing. In a blind test, a tester is only given the name of the enterprise that's being targeted. This gives security personnel a real-time look into how an actual application assault would take place. Where in a double-blind test, security personnel have no prior knowledge of the simulated attack. As in the real world, they won't have any time to shore up their defenses before an attempted breach. And lastly, targeted testing scenario, both the tester and security personnel work together and keep each other appraised of their movements. This is a valuable training exercise that provides a security team with real-time feedback from a hacker's point of view. Let's move on to the exciting part of building a lab environment. In the first part, we perform the installation of all required virtual machines, and in the second part, we will create a private network and configure those machines. Once the environment is ready, you will be able to perform most of the pen testing. You can then leverage it to expand the test environment as per your test requirements. You will find the download links under this video description. Feel free to reach me for any download concerns. Select I will install the operating system later option. Then select operating system architecture. Give a meaningful name to your machine. Set the disk size and virtual disk file type. You can edit settings, such as memory CPU and attached server 2019 ISO file. As mentioned earlier, in Part 1, I will perform installations only. In Part 2, we'll create private network and configure machine settings as per lab requirements. Follow the steps as showing on screen. Make sure to choose Desktop Experience version only. Select the primary disk for OS installation. Create a password to log in and manage the server. Keep this password handy for future use. Install the VMware tools to enable features and for better management of operating system. Our first target server 2019 device is now ready. Select and attach ISO file. Give a meaningful name to your Windows 10 machine. Set the disk size and virtual disk file type. Customize the resource settings, such as memory CPU. Select the Windows 10 operating system version. Select the primary disk for OS installation and hit Next. Follow the steps as showing on screen. Install the VMware tools to enable features and for better management of operating system. Our Windows 10 target device is also ready now. I have already downloaded and unzipped the Kali Linux VMware disk image. For detailed step-by-step download and installation of the Kali Linux virtual machine, please check the link under the video description. To import the downloaded machine, click on the file and then open the path of unzipped Kali Linux folder. Select .vmx configuration file. Change the resource allocation as per your lab needs. Once ready, power on the imported Kali VM. Login with default credentials, username as Kali and same Kali for password. Kali Linux should use as a security workstation, which needs to be fully updated before we switch the virtual machine to the private network. Make sure the machine has internet access and runs commands as root admin. Upgrade process will take 20 to 30 minutes or maybe more, depends on your network connection. It took around 35 minutes to get it fully upgraded. Our Kali machine is also ready now. You can rename the machine if you like. Open Web Application Security Project. Broken Web Applications is an open-source project that produces a collection of vulnerable web applications that are distributed on a virtual machine in VMware format compatible with their no-cost and commercial VMware products. You can find the download link under the video description. Again, strongly recommend that you run it only on the host-only or NAT network in the virtual machine settings. Use the 7-zip free tool to extract the downloaded virtual machine folder. Next to Import Machine, click on File and open Path of extracted OWASP Linux machine folder. Select .vmx configuration file. Change the resource allocation as per your lab needs. Power on the machine and select I moved it option. OWASP machine is imported successfully. You can use the default username root and password OWASP BWA as displaying on screen to test your login access. Metasploitable refers to a vulnerable machine that enables the learning and practice of Metasploit. It is illegal to hack or attack any system without the owner's consent. So, the Metasploitable machine enables users to set up a penetration testing environment to learn and practice hacking. You can find the download link under the video description. Extract the downloaded Metasploitable virtual machine folder. Importing Metasploitable machine process is almost same as OWASP. Click on File and open Path of extracted Metasploitable Linux machine folder and select .vmx configuration file. Again, change the resources as per your lab needs or leave them default. You can find details about Metasploitable under Imported Machine description as well. Power on the machine and select I moved it option. Metasploitable machine is imported successfully. You can use the default username msfadmin and password msfadmin as displaying on screen to test your login access. This concludes our first part of installing pen testing lab required virtual machines. You can add additional operating systems as target devices. In part 2, we will first create a private network for all these machines and then configure the machine settings that can best suitable for pen testing. Also, please leave your comments under the comments section if you would like to watch more videos on cybersecurity, pen testing, and similar topics. To configure private network, click on Edit and then select Virtual Network Editor. Click on Change Settings to open Network Configurations. You can see there are 3 predefined networks, and to create new network, click on Add Network. Assign any available virtual network. We can rename the network adapter to identify network later. Select host-only private connection and make sure to uncheck the local DHCP service option. You can assign your own IP scheme or can use default. Our private network connection is now ready. Next, we can configure machine resources. If you don't have enough resources, try spinning only one target machine at a time. Also, assign the new private network to all machines. For Kali Linux, make sure machine has all updates installed before changing the network to private. For Metasploit, make sure to keep only single private network and remove the second network. As a tip, you can take snapshots of the machines at this stage, so if something breaks you don't need to rebuild the lab or even restart the lab. We are now ready to power on each machine and configure them as per our lab environment requirements. On server 2019, we start with changing the hostname to identify the machine on the network. Next, assign the static IP to the machine from same assigned IP scheme to our private network. Also, make sure to disable IPv6. Disable Windows Firewall, Windows Defender, and IE Enhanced Security. Next, we need to turn off automatic updates to consider the machine as vulnerable, high risk, and missing patches. You can perform this through command prompt by typing sconfig command. Select 5 for Windows Update and change Windows Update settings to manual. From File Explorer, enable Show Hidden Files, Folder, Drives option, and uncheck Hide extensions for known file types. Detach any attached ISO. Lastly, create a new user account and make him a member of the administrator group, so the user will play an administrator role on this device. Perform the same steps on your Windows 10 device. The only difference is you will not be able to change the Windows Update status to manual. Our Windows 10 machines is also ready now. Try ping between both machines to test connection. Before starting next machine, we can shut down one machine to save resources. On the Kali machine, we just need to assign a private network static IP and leave all other settings default. Try ping between Kali Linux and Windows 10 to test connection. Let's configure network for Metasploitable now. Read the warning message and log in using default username msfadmin and password msfadmin as displaying on screen. Switch to sudo admin access to make network configurations. Review network configuration for your network adapter by running ifconfig command. Next we use vim command to edit interface network file. You need to type A to enable editing. Change network interface settings from DHCP to static and enter the private IP address and netmask details. Once done, hit escape button to exit editor mode. To save changes, type :WQ and ! and hit enter. Run cat command to confirm entries. You need to disable and enable network to apply changes. Use if down and if up commands. Private connection is established between Metasploitable machine and other machines on same private network. Login using default username, root and password OWASP BWA as displaying on screen. Lastly, follow same steps as Metasploitable virtual machine network configurations for OWASP BWA network configuration. You need to update network settings on interface file. Please show your support by subscribe, like, and sharing videos with your friends. Also, don't forget to leave comments if you would like to watch more videos on cybersecurity and similar topics. I hope you liked this video. Your lab is now ready for penetration testing.